Aloha. We're here today to help you look at your relationship and help you solve some relationship problems you're facing. Now, relationship rebalancing is a whole new concept that Julie and I developed. We've been working with midlife transformation, midlife crisis, quarter life crisis, people in transformation. And we discovered an interesting truth. When people change, the relationship usually doesn't change. And if the relationship doesn't change, it breaks. See, in our culture, what we do is we blame each other. We try to change the other person to make the relationship work. Do you see the trap? You're keeping the relationship the same as it was, and you're trying to change the people to fit the relationship. You see, within a relationship, there are three energies. There's your energy, your partner's energy, and the relationship energy. And no one ever changes the relationship energy. And we discovered over the last 20 years, if you change the relationship energy, you can fix relationships. And no one has to change. It's an interesting dynamic, and it's really powerful that works. It truly works amazingly well at transformation points. What determines the relationship energy? Well, it comes from how you grew up. It comes from your culture. It comes from the experiences you have while living with your partner. It comes from watching the media of your culture. So there's a lot of unconscious inputs that affect your relationship that you don't even realize are there. So the baseline of a relationship doesn't necessarily come from you or your partner. The baseline comes from the relationship energy which you grew up into from your surroundings. And a lot of those habits you gain may not be effective for you or your partner. And as you change, it actually makes for a brittle relationship because your relationship isn't evolving with you. So people tend not to change the relationship. They tend to try to force their partner to change. And of course, your partner is going to resist the change. So the first step in relationship rebalancing is first to take a look at yourself, to take a time out, to see what's wrong, to correct anything that's going sideways. Then the next step is you take a look at why you're not getting along. So I have a teaching I call the Tree of Love teaching. And you can look it up, there's a video about that. Now the Tree of Love teaching will help you understand why a relationship consists of. The baseline of a relationship is the chemistry. And you have chemistry of the body, chemistry of the mind, and chemistry of the spirit. And you need all three of those chemistries to have a deep, successful relationship. That's the hard-coded part. Then you have the love of the relationship. The love is helping each other grow. And that's what makes relationships amazing, as you help each other grow. Now in the middle are the branches of the relationship, the part that connects it all together. That's the communication and the flow and the harmony. So lots of times where the disharmony is coming from are when your story elements of the relationship are broken, or some of these unconscious ways you're holding your relationship are disconnecting you from your partner. And we can fix that. So a lot of relationship rebalancing comes down to helping change the way you communicate, helping see how you can respect your partner, helping change some of the fundamentals that are the flow between your partner or the way you see your partner, okay? But the story and the way you hold the story of your relationship is equally as important. And we could change the story elements of a relationship and rebalance your relationship. We change every 7 years. Every 7 years we become a new person. And that's why we see a lot of breakups at around roughly 7 to 9 years and 14 to 16 years, around 21 to 23 years, and around 28 years. Because every 7 years we change, our stories change. If you change every 7 years, but your relationship doesn't change, well, guess what? Your relationship will break because you will evolve beyond your relationship, or the needs will be different in your relationship. So it's really important to resync the relationship to fit who you are as a person and fit who your partner is over time. Think about that. If you change every 7 years and your partner changes every 7 years, after 14 years, you're 4 lifetimes apart. That's a lot of change. And if your relationship never changed, of course it's going to break because it's going to be too brittle. And we can modify that. We can change things up. Now, the other powerful part of this teaching is it lets us see things in a more granular way. In other words, when people look at their relationship, they think there's only 3 stages. It's working, there's a problem, and divorce. And that means relationships often get on a fast track because you're not working with the granularity of the relationship. So when the relationship's working, you ignore the problems. Then when there's a problem, you rush into marriage counseling and you force it to change. And then when things don't change, you go straight into divorce. You see, it's abbreviated. Turns out there's stages in your relationship that you can work with. So that first stage, your relationship is working okay. Turns out there's 3 stages in there. The first stage is stage 0, where you're comfortable and you're doing nothing. If you're doing nothing in your relationship will break. Your relationship won't survive because you're doing nothing. Relationships have to evolve. So never do nothing in a relationship. Always be willing to work on it a little bit. The next stage is everything's okay. You're both helping each other, you're growing, you're healthy, and you love each other. So that's a healthy relationship. Then the next stage is when you begin to have a problem. Because lots of times the relationship doesn't break because there are 2 problems between 2 people. Rather, there's a problem that one person's having and they're not sharing the problem with a partner. Or that change is making them have more and more issues, and that slowly will creep up into a relationship problem. So lots of times you can save a relationship before there's even a relationship problem by just helping a person grow, by helping them solve and evolve more nicely in their life. So we could save and prevent a lot of relationship problems early on in the process. So if you feel there's something wrong in a relationship, you don't have to go to the marriage counselor. You can come to someone like Julie and myself, who are professional life coaches who help you grow in your life. And that growth can actually save your relationship. That's powerful. Now, the next stage of relationship problem is when you acknowledge there's a problem in the relationship. And so the first stage of that is you pause, you take a time out. It's like a car. Do you fix your car when you're going 80 miles per hour? No, you take it to the garage, you don't drive it, and you fix the engine. Well, a relationship is the same way. If you try to fix a relationship when it's under a lot of stress, when you're pushing and going and going and going, you can't do it. You have to take a time out. So part of our process is first to get a time out to take a look at everything. To first take care of the problems each person has, so you're not dragging other problems into the relationship. So self-help is actually amazingly powerful. So you slow down, you help each other fix your own personal problems, then you look at the relationship problems. Now there are a lot of places to fix in the relationship. You could fix the stories, you could fix old problems of your family that you're bringing into your current relationship. A lot of people drag their parents' divorce into their current divorce, for instance. So there's a lot of work we can do to change your story. Then comes traditional marriage counseling. Now traditional marriage counseling is in the middle of the process. That's when you want to go back to the old relationship and you work hard to change yourselves to fit the relationship. And for some people, that is the correct path to go through. However, traditional marriage counseling won't work if you need to change the relationship. In other words, sometimes you have to release the old relationship in order to create a new relationship. And when you take a time out, that allows you to do that. That's really powerful. Then, the next stage of the process is actually relationship rebalancing, where we actually dig into the relationship roots and we look at the relationship and we begin to evolve the relationship to catch up to both of you. And that's then very powerful. Then the next stage, if that is too much, is then you go into a spiritual divorce, where you take a little bit of a bigger time out because the issues are so large, you need to stop a little bit more, pull apart, and then rethink the relationship a little bit deeper. If that doesn't work, then you can go into a physical separation, and then the last stage will be divorce. So one of the problems is a lot of people go straight from okay to divorce because they don't work in all these little middle steps that exist in the process. So relationship rebalancing is a whole new way of looking at your relationship. It's understanding there is that third wheel of the relationship energy that you can address and fix to fit your life. That's really powerful. Take the time to look at things. Take a look at why you're fighting. Are you fighting because it's because you are having problems? Are you fighting because she's having problems? Or are you fighting because the relationship doesn't fit either one of you? If you're fighting because the relationship doesn't fit one of you, you don't change to fit the relationship. Change the relationship to fit both of you. Now, lots of times it helps to have myself or Julie help you because we're looking from the outside in. It's really hard to address unconscious ways of holding your story, unconscious ways of holding your relationship. We can see what's going on from the outside and help you realign things more effectively. Now we're creating a big half-hour video that's on our Patreon site, which will go into this in more detail, and you're welcome to sign on to our Patreon site and get to. So if you want to learn more about relationship rebalancing, go watch that video. It will go into this in much more depth. Now please subscribe. We really need your help, and we're really cranking on the YouTube, and we really would love to have your participation. Add comments, talk, ask questions. This is a community effort. We're working together to help come together. So aloha, please subscribe, and have a great day. Thank you.